Kayla and David's daughter suffered non-accidental trauma, bleeding on the brain, bruising, seizures, broken bones, and burns, causing the child to be unable to walk, talk, or see clearly for weeks. These injuries were in different stages of healing, and all of this suffering happened while in Kayla's custody. But was she responsible? Watch and find out.
I want to just prove to everybody that I had no part of this, like nothing at all. Like, that little girl means the world to me, and to know that somebody even did that to my child, and then for my family and him to think that I covered that up, that's like the worst nightmare of my life. I had nothing to do with this. I was at work that morning. I had left 30 minutes before this happened.
And then you found out she was rushed to the hospital.
I got a phone call at work. The people are calling me like, we're pulling over, we think she's going into cardiac arrest. All I kept saying is, what the hell did he do to my child? What the hell did he do? Because she was perfectly fine when I left. Like, what the hell did he do to my child?
Your child was diagnosed with a non-accidental trauma.
Yes.
Subdural hematomas, brain injury, and acute symptomatic seizures.
Yes.
The child could not walk, talk, or see clearly for several weeks.
Correct.
In the hospital, and it was unknown if she would ever recover from this traumatic incident.
Yes.
You left and you say she was perfectly fine, and when the doctors examined her, they were saying that your daughter was being abused over a period of time.
And she wasn't. That's the whole thing.
So the doctors were wrong?
That's the whole thing. She had bruises on her, but we also at the time were living with other kids.
In the paperwork, it says that your daughter was hospitalized over 30 times. Have you ever witnessed anyone abuse your daughter?
No, sir.
Have you ever abused your daughter?
No, sir.
You were charged with child neglect, right?
Yes, sir.
Why were you charged with child neglect?
I was charged almost 6 months afterwards because I had believed the story that the guy was telling me. He said that she had fell out of the bathtub and hit her head on our cabinet in our bathroom. I cannot believe you're sitting here accusing me, David, like I don't understand. You know. No, you don't understand, David. You know.
I know.
That I never laid my hands on her.
I know you had something to do with it.
How, David? I was at work.
I knew you knew something about
How?
it.
How did I know anything? Have you ever witnessed me hit her? When?
You're not accused of anything, are you?
No, sir. And DSS wouldn't let me have her or nothing.
And that's what I don't understand. Why,
I don't...
if you didn't do anything, and you seems like you got a pretty good record of 20 years service in the military.
I go to church every Sunday, every Wednesday. I've been sober, going on a year and 5 months now.
There you go. I guess my question is, how come you don't get to have your daughter?
Everybody's been asking me that question. I said, I would love to know the answer.
Kayla, you came here because, one, you're facing criminal charges for child neglect. And you have stated all along you did not do this.
Yes.
You had no knowledge of this happening. And you wanted to come here to clear your name.
I called the show.
Okay. So you came here and we asked you, have you ever witnessed anyone hit your daughter leaving marks or bruises?
No.
You answered no. Have you ever witnessed anyone burn your daughter with a cigarette or other smoking materials?
No.
You answered no. In November, did you cause any of those injuries to your daughter?
Hell no.
You answered no. The results came back all the same, and it came back that Kayla told the truth.
And I want us, David, to start coming. I want you to start forgiving me. I want to start working on this. I told you, David. I told you. I don't have to do this.
Well, how many times have you lied to me?
I understand that, but when I lied about my child, my little girl.
You came on here. You proved your name.
Yes, I
Hopefully
did.
this will help you in your court case.
Yeah.
And I hope that your little girl will keep improving her health to the point where she can live a totally normal life. And even though the two of you are not going to get back together, that you work in concert to provide a nice life for your daughter. Thank you for coming on. Congratulations. At just 9 months old, William had third-degree burns on both arms and legs caused by scalding hot water. His father, Hugh, was furious with his mother, Jean, because these injuries happened while she was supposed to be watching him. That day, William found out the truth about what happened to him when he was a baby. But were they the results he wanted to hear? Watch this.
28 years ago, I had a call that my 9-month-old son had been burnt. It just about took his life. He had third-degree burns on both arms, both legs, from his elbows to his knees. The doctors told me that there was no way this was an accident. He was dipped in scalding hot water intentionally by his mother. And her story is that he climbed up onto a crate and into the bathtub. Him being a 9-month-old baby that can't even walk, there's no way that he climbed up into that bathtub. There's no way. When I actually walked in and I seen my son laying there with tubes out of his nose, in his mouth, IVs, all bandaged up, about dead, I really wanted to wring her neck. I was 18 years old. I had to get my life together so I could step up and get custody of my son. It actually took me 5 years fighting in court to be able to bring my son home. I raised him till he was 16, 17 years old. One of the worst mistakes I made was I took him to see his mom. He actually wanted to go live with her, and everything went south from there. He quit school, drinking, doing what he wanted to do. There was no consequences. When he went and lived with her, she told him a totally different story. Now he doesn't know what to believe. I know in my heart that his mother did this.
Why don't you tell me about the day your son was burned in the bathtub?
Okay, I'm 18. I have 3 young kids, okay? One is right in the next room crying. The other 2 are in the bathroom where I have my bath water running. This bath water is meant for me, not for my kids. I go in there to take care of the little one, and all I heard was a splash and a cry.
My mother told me that I grabbed a crate and climbed into the bathtub myself. I do not believe that story. By the way that my burns are, I believe that I was placed into the bathtub. When I was younger, I'd go to school and people would laugh at me. People would call me old man hands, and nobody ever wanted to be my friend because of the way that my skin looked. If I find out that it was intentional, I'd be heartbroken.
You know that this wasn't intentional. There was no way that he climbed in that bathtub. He could not even walk.
Yes, he
couldn't
could.
pull himself up.
He was 11 months old. Don't tell me he couldn't walk.
Some mom you are, you don't even know.
Some mom I am.
He was 9 months.
11 months. Or
He
my
was
son
9
was 2 years old.
He was 9 months
Get it right.
old. In the hospital with tubes in his nose.
Yeah, and who
in
stayed
his
at the
mouth?
hospital with
me?
I did.
I was the only one there his whole life.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Gene, you came here and took a lie detector test. We asked Gene, did you intentionally burn your son, William? She answered no, and the results for her lie detector test is that she told the truth.
Thank God.
I told you.
I wanted this to come out that she's telling the truth because he needed.
Well,
this
it was on
closure.
your mind for all this time too, right?
Yes, sir. But he was my worry. He needed this
I did
closure.
this all for you.
Now, William, I know this is good news for you because you had a relationship with your mom, and obviously, if she failed, it probably, like you said, there would have been. There would have been no speaking between the two of you, so I'm really glad that Gene passed. You know the truth now, and I hope you guys can go on and act peacefully to each other. Good luck to you. Nice meeting you. Nice meeting you. Savannah and Michael appeared on my show and tried to clear Michael's name of burning Savannah's oldest daughter with an electronic cigarette. If found guilty, he was facing up to 10 years in prison for child abuse, and the authorities already said it looked like the injury was intentional. Watch this clip to find out why this young man was brought to his knees after the results.
One morning, I was asleep, and I woke up with my child screaming for me. And I went to her, and I saw the burn, and I was like, Michael, what happened? And he said that he didn't know, but he was just standing there in shock, like he froze. And that made me think that he did it. I was so mad. I took my kids, I ran out of the house, went to the neighbors. The cops were called. He ended up getting arrested. When I found out that my daughter was burnt by a vape pen, I flipped out. I did. Because, I mean, my daughter plays with that thing a lot. At first, I thought it was on purpose, but then when I got home, I realized that my covers was burnt from the vape, because she rolled it up in the covers. Michael told me that he smelled vape fumes and realized that his vape was gone, so he was asking her what happened. He got it, and by that time, she felt bad, and she said, I love you, Daddy, and went to hug him, and when she went to stand up on the edge of the bed and hug him, he had the vape in his hand, and it was already hot. He told me he'd rather her be burnt than her hands blow up. And I just went off and took the kids and I left. And when the cops got involved, I told them what he told me. The cops told me that they were assuming that he let her get burnt with a vape to teach her a lesson. He loves his kids. He never even whoops them. He buys them anything they want. And for, to be honest, he was up with them too. And I think exhaustion got to him. I know for a fact he wouldn't hurt her. Michael needs to know, though, if it comes back that he did intentionally, he will never forever be in my life for my kids. He will never see us again.
You mean
Did you intentionally burn a little girl?
No. No, I wouldn't do that to my kids.
I mean, I guess you're facing up to 10 years in prison?
Anywhere, yes. Anywhere from a year to 10 years prison time. My vape was actually sitting up on the dresser, which we use like a TV stand because that's where a TV sits. It was at a certain point where I thought she couldn't reach it. You know what I mean?
So you come out, and when did you discover she was burned?
Well, when she started screaming when the vape accidentally touched her, because I had found the vape wrapped up in the covers.
So you believe she found it and somehow she activated it?
Yes, the burn was only, I'd say, probably about nickel size. As far as
But
I
not
could tell.
only, because a nickel-sized burn on me would hurt like hell. And this is what, a 2-year-old little girl?
Yeah.
I need to know the truth.
I am telling you the truth. You know what I mean? I'm telling you the whole truth because, I do understand where you're coming from. And you know me. You know
She's
that.
my baby, though. If you did, and I wouldn't want to see you again.
I understand that. I understand where you're coming from. You hear me? Okay.
So do you think that he intentionally burned your daughter?
I don't know.
He came here, took a lie detector test, and we asked him, did you intentionally burn Savannah's oldest daughter? He answered no. Regarding Savannah's oldest daughter, did you burn her on purpose? He answered no. The results came back the same to each question, and they came back that Michael told the truth.
I'd like to say thank you, Steve Wilkos. You have no how much this means to me, because this will definitely help me here in the future.
I think it would help you a little bit, and I hope it does. Because like I said, the good thing is, when these things happen, they should be investigated, because the last thing in the world we want is somebody abusing children. It was an accident. Seems like you're building a family, you love each other dearly, and you got to protect each other, and you got to protect your kids, right?
And
Good luck to you.
I do commend you. You are the first show that I thought of.
Thank you very much. Good luck to you. I hope it all works out for you.